let's get started. Okay, let's get started. We're going to move right into our first chapter in our science book. Turn to page 4, chapter 1. No, I don't. Your science book is right there.
Yeah. That's kind of funny. What page? Okay.
4. Science and scientists. Okay. So, we're getting in the mindset of thinking about science, okay? And we're going to be talking about what are scientific methods. We're going to talk about models and how we measure the tools we use to measure and find mass, volume, mass and volume. And then we're going to talk about models and limitations of models, okay? So let's think about this. You are enjoying a picnic on a warm summer day. A crumb from your sandwich falls to the ground and an ant carries it away. Suddenly you wonder, why are ants always at picnics? What do you think?
Food. People drop food. And like, ants will come along and just pick it up for their own time.
Breezy, why do you think ants are always at a picnic?
People,
What about people?
they always have food.
Okay. What do the ants do with the food?
They carry them away to their home.
Okay. Okay, so science is a process of gathering information. So actually, before we start saying that, congratulations. You just completed your first steps of being a scientist. How did you do it? You observe the world around you, then you ask the question about your observations. And that's part of science, of what science is all about.
I'm so sorry to interrupt. Do you know how to use the printer? Like, when we were
You
print stuff on
have
here?
you have to save it onto a jump drive,
Oh.
and then
You print it in there?
you have to plug it into the printer.
Okay.
I mean the copy machine,
Okay.
and then it'll print from the jump drive.
Got it.
And it
Okay.
has to be saved as PDF.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. Thank
No
you.
problem. Okay. So, what were we saying? Okay. Science is a process of gathering knowledge about the natural world. In order to gather information, about the natural world, in order to gather knowledge, it helps to ask a question. The world around you is full of amazing things that can lead you to ask questions, such as figure 1. Let's go to figure 1. Part of science is asking questions about the world around you. Why do leaves change color in the fall? Why do plants give off the element oxygen? What causes the seasons? Why are some ants red and some ants black? Why is it hot only in the summertime? Why is it hot mostly in the summertime?
Winter.
What's some other questions we can ask? Why do pencil shavings smell like that? What's some other questions? Why do pencils have to be sharpened? Okay.
Why is paper made of trees?
Why is paper made of trees? Go, Brianna.
Why does wood have to be chopped?
Okay. What other questions?
Why must shoes use spankings?
No, that's not a scientific question.
I can't forget anything right now.
Breezy, come on now. Are you here with us today?
Yes.
Okay. Are you sure? Okay.
Why can't
In your own neighborhood, take a look around your school and around your neighborhood. Most of the time, you take things that you use or see every day for granted. However, one day you might look at
So
something
sorry,
in a new
I'm
way.
so sorry. Miss Nella said, do you know how can you upload the assignments into Jupyter?
Mhm.
Okay, good. Okay, I'll do that then.
Okay. Um, that's when a question hits you. The student in figure 1 didn't have to look very far to realize that he had some questions to ask. So you can look around your neighborhood, you can look around your school, you can look around your church, and think of questions that you possibly want to know. Like this child here, wanted to know, why do plants give off the element oxygen and what causes the season. So that could be things that he thought of in his neighborhood. Um, so, or why do stars look brighter in the country than they do in the city? Okay, so those are scientific questions that can be answered. The world and beyond. Do you think that you might get tired of asking questions about things in your neighborhood? Then just remember the world is made up of many different places. You could ask questions about deserts and forests and sandy beaches and the moon and the stars and the galaxies and Mars, and you could ask questions about a whole lot of different things. Many different plants and animals live in each of these places, and then there are rocks, soil, flowing water in the environment. But the earth is not the final place to look for questions. You can look outward to the moon and sun and the planets in our solar system. And beyond that, you have the rest of the universe. There seem to be enough questions to keep scientists busy for a long time. So, investigation, the search for answers. So, scientific investigations. Okay. Your investigations are going to be separated into 3 categories, okay? First thing we're going to do is research. What is research?
to
Look up something.
Okay,
to explore something new?
okay. What would you research though? Once you've asked your question, right? You start with your question. And then you will go on to look for things that relate to your question. Okay? So you could use textbooks, encyclopedias, magazines, the internet. Next, we're going to observe. Observation is next. How do we observe?
With like we pay attention.
Right, we pay attention, we stand back, we watch, we see if those things will give us a question. You can also find answers to questions by making careful observations. For example, if you want to know how a spider spins its web, you could go for a walk to look for webs. Once you found a place where a spider builds its web, you can observe. So observe means it's something we do with our eyes. We're going to watch, okay? But experimentation is different. Experimentation means that we're going to physically recreate the situation. So if we were trying to figure out how a spider makes a web, right? We're trying to figure out how a spider makes a web. We can take a spider, put it inside of a container or what have you, and see how and watch it make the web, okay? Or we could recreate the situation by making our own web with string and stuff. Okay? So that's an experiment. Okay? We're taking things from the research we've done and from the observation and actually recreating the situation. Okay? So that's what experimentation is. And look at figure 3. Okay? This student is doing an experiment to find out whether this type of plant grows better in the shade or in direct sunlight. So he has 2 plants. He observed plants, okay? His question probably was, how do plants grow? Okay? That may have been his first question. His first question may have been, how do plants grow? Then he decides to research, okay, there's this type of plant, that type of plant. The sun gives off, this radiation and that radiation, blah, blah, blah. Then he goes on to observe. So he observes plants that are outside, that are growing in the sunlight. But he also wants to do an experiment so that he knows the difference, okay? So experimentation comes into play as his third step. He's going to take a plant and leave it in the dark and not let it get sunlight, and then a plant and allow it to get sunlight. And then he's going to compare the two. Okay?
By height.
Height, whether or not it grew, whether it died, all that kind of stuff. Okay? All right. So, remember this semester or this year, we're doing, you can turn to page 6. Remember this year we're going to be focusing more on getting you all more involved in your community, okay? And being important, positive parts of your community, okay? So people cannot use science to answer every question. They do find some interesting answers though. But do any of the answers really matter? Does it always matter? Scientists may have questions that they answer, but do they always matter?
No.
They don't always matter, but some of the questions are important. Okay? As you study science, you see how it affects you and everything around you. So, science can save lives, save resources, and save the environment. Okay? Why choose science? How does it save lives? How do you think science may save lives? Science and scientific research.
It can be a disease or something, and they can figure out a cure.
Very good. Absolutely.
Can help plants.
You said what?
I said it can help plants.
Okay, plants. That's not really saving lives. We're talking about usually people and or animals.